Hello everyone and welcome to Game 3 here on Achillean Waste, Dimaga versus ToD. Both players opening up with the good luck, have fun. And remember, this is Heart of the Swarm beta. They still need to do a lot of balancing. But Game 2 really looked like Protoss needs to come up with an answer for Swarm Host. Swarm Host just absolutely so effective. If I had to give my 2 cents on it, I would have to say the upgrade on time life for Locusts. They get a longer life, but they get reduced movement speed. Now, I know a lot of people are like, say, what's the point in that? Well, the point is the additional time life is actually giving Locusts a little bit too much range. The additional 10 seconds means that they're able to travel about 15 to 20, or actually almost 25, 25 range farther in their attack. So with that, they're able to attack targets that is crazy stupid range and then deal a lot of damage as well. So if you think about the original Tempest with 22 range, they were able to do, I believe, what, 20 or maybe 50 damage per attack at 22 range. At 22 range, the Locusts are able to do at least like 40 to 50 damage per attack as well, or actually probably higher. I'll have to do the math. But it really feels like Locusts are super effective, and unless Protoss has an easy splash damage unit such as Colossi to deal with those Locusts and be able to effectively keep those Colossi alive from Corruptors, it's going to be very difficult for Protoss players to really find a way to deal with Swarm Hosts in general. All right. ToD coming in with a nice pylon block here, making sure to delay any sort of hatchery attempt. It looks like the pylon will stay up, and is he actually going to warp in a photon cannon? That's going to be interesting. You can see that the natural regeneration of the probe, and oh, Dimaga now backing away. ToD may have actually been able to win that, as we are going to see this probe just maneuver back and forth. A new drone now coming over to poke apart at this pylon. This probe may try to get off the kill here. No, going for a gateway. Wow, that is adding insult to injury. So what is going to happen is that this gateway will most likely just get canceled, but it does add a significant amount of time on delaying a hatchery here. Front door. If this hatchery, or sorry, if this gateway is going to get canceled, it looks like it should. Yes, and now warping in another. ToD just poking fun at Dimaga, now trying to utilize buildings in order to delay any sort of hatchery attempt and any sort of expansion attempt. So we are now at the 4-minute 30-second mark and still without a hatchery. And now there's another cancellation there. So let's take a look at the overall resources lost. 174 resources lost. And it delayed a hatchery pretty significantly. Now, ToD most likely knows that there is another hatchery here, but it is going to be very difficult to try and transfer a queen to this hatchery. Coming back over here, gateway now coming in. No level 1 weapons upgrade. Double assimilators already down by ToD. Now adding in 3 workers per assimilator. Apparently these probes just hanging around the assimilator, not going inside for a little bit of time. Now, ToD did do a little bit of cute antics, and will that actually have an effect on the overall game? 174 resources lost. Income is slightly higher for ToD. He does have this hatchery up with 7 probes on it, meaning less diminishing returns. Coming back over here, you can see that he's actually rallying this nexus over into this location, and you may be wondering why. Up until this one nexus gets into 16/24, it's actually better for the probes to start mining here because there is less diminishing returns. Also, Dimaga doesn't have that many drones at his other bases because he doesn't want to move over the drones from the main base. If he does, he may expose himself a little bit too much, especially with only 1 queen acting as defense here. Level 1 weapons upgrade now coming in. Stalkers, Cybernetics Core now getting in that warp gate. Tech, robotics facility also coming in as well. we should be getting in some Immortals and level 1 weapons upgrade. So far, Assimilator 2 out of 3 workers here, so it looks like ToD going into very, very heavy gas play. Mothership Core is once more being added. It is being chrono boosted out, as we are going to see one Zealot trying to position itself, now taking down, I believe, a Zergling or 2, but really, or yeah, just 2 Zerglings, but now the losses are still mounting up for ToD. ToD starting to add in some additional production buildings. Level 1 weapons upgrade. Mothership Core is on the move. Movement speed, the same movement speed as, say, a Thor or a carrier. Or sorry, battlecruiser, as the Mothership Core now on the move here. So we'll see what the damage will be like. One of the early massive units coming in from Protoss. And the Mothership Core, just, I love that animation in the middle. It just like, it's dancing, it's moving, it makes no rhyme or reason on why it's doing that, but it just looks absolutely sweet. All right, Mothership Core being utilized to clear out some of the Zerglings that are sitting at a Dimaga tower. So the Mothership Core really going to be benefiting, and Protoss players really going to perhaps be able to limit some map control, since most Zerg players have really no way of getting any early anti-air unit. Any early anti-air unit would be a Hydralisk or a Queen. Queens are not going to be able to make their way over that easily. And then Hydralisk is a tech path that's already at tier 2, and the Mothership Core may actually be able to win out on that fight. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see what will happen here as the Zealots are now making their way in. So Zealots now warping in over here at the 3rd base, trying to make their way in. Roaches are going to quickly clean this up. This is not going to be good at all for ToD. ToD going to be losing a lot more than he wants in this engagement here, not really dealing any damage. And Zerg sitting at 107 supply, while ToD is sitting at 75, even though he did delay one of the main bases for quite some time. All right, Destructible Rocks will get taken down. Changeling is down over here. Will the Immortals be able to... Yes, the Immortals should be able to destroy these rocks here in just a moment. There is still one Overseer, and the Stalkers could just try to clean that up here in just a second. Immortals with 1-0 upgrades. Zealots also being warped into the front part of the field. Mothership Core could be added over here as well. And we are going to see a drone now try and establish up the 3rd base. This is not going to go well at all, as there is already the pylon here. Does Dimaga spot it? He may suspect that something is being added, as a hatchery now getting canceled, and those units are going to be backing off. ToD now coming in. He has a massive army advantage, and is it going to be enough, as we now see Guardian Shield added, Force Fields coming in as well, and the Guardian Shield, the Roaches trying to focus down the very expensive sentries, will be able to take down a couple of them, as the Mothership Core now on the move. This is a very good, strong timing attack coming in from ToD. Is ToD going to be able to take down this extractor? Yes, he will. No, not going to even bother with it. Going after some of the drones. All of these drones pretty much have nowhere to go, no way to escape, and that is going to be a very bad position, as the Roaches are now trying to make their way in. Drones now coming in for an engagement. Guardian Shield not going to help much against the drones, but a lot of workers have been lost. 24 workers lost here, and it really looked like Dimaga just got overconfident and overzealous, trying to macro up a lot more than he really should have. Roaches will now be engaging. It looks like the Roaches will be hatching out here in just a second. Warp Prism now on the move, and here we go. There's another round of force fields that Mothership Core needs to back off. What is it doing? It is now going to be backing off here, now down to 56 hit points. It needs to perhaps get underneath the protection. Will it be able to recall, scroll a town portal back home? Yes, it does, just in time. And now coming back here, teleporting back home with that recall. And now will ToD be able to re-engage and fight another day? All right, there is no Nexus here, so Dimaga is still sitting on 2 bases, while ToD is sitting on 2 bases. ToD has the advantage there, as we are now going into a robotics bay for Colossi. All right, Mothership Core, what is inside that one particular Warp Prism? It is a couple Zealots, and we are going to see some Roaches now make their way in. 2 Changelings making their way over as well. What is going to be happening? That is a lot of units, as the Warp Prism just going to be flying overhead. That could be a very, very bad engagement at any moment now. The Destructible Rocks gonna get taken out. Who's gonna perhaps take the damage from the Destructible Rocks? Take down that Changeling. There it goes. And the rocks have fallen over. All right. Warp Prism looking to perhaps do another drop here once more, delaying that hatchery. There are simply too many roaches, though, as we now see an engagement on the front door. Photon cannons, one gateway, I believe, was lost, but now those units will be backing up. Zealots now trying to shut off this hatchery. Is it going to be enough? I do not believe so. Now needing to pick up the rest of the Zealots. Queens are now in position, and so far, Dimaga sitting on 2 bases. And I believe he is sitting on 3 hatcheries. The only reason why he's still able to keep up with overall production while still sitting at 6 larvae. Changeling in position here. Destructible Rocks have been taken down. New gateway being added. And we'll see what this Mothership Core plans to do. Purify, Energize. Spire now being added. The Spire adding in those Corruptors. And that is going to be the key response. Whether or not there's going to be enough Corruptors to deal with the Colossi. If there are 3 or 4 Colossi on the field, then those Colossi should be able to take care of any ground army. And then once it's able to take care of the ground army, it will be able to take care of everything else. Alright, 2 Changelings, 2 Zealots sitting at a Zonaga Tower. This Zealot, not the brightest one in the world, perhaps wondering why. Come on, there you go. Take down that Changeling. And now warping in some more units here. Alright, there is 1 Colossus ready to go. Mothership Core now going to be engaging. There are a lot of sentries. This attack force of ToD is going to be very strong. Does Dimaga know where his opponent is? As Zealots are going to get taken out over here. There's a Queen coming in. And now the Warp Prism pretty much going, you know what? I'm going to try to bait you away. These Destructible Rocks will get taken down. I do not believe... No, Dimaga does know about it, as the units are now making their way over. And now we could see a drop of some Zealots here. Now warping in a lot of Zealots here, as a hatchery was canceled or destroyed. Here in comes the attack. The Immortals absorbing a lot of damage. Both sides are going to be attacking. There's some force fields, some more force fields, dividing and conquering this army. And this is going to be a beautiful engagement, as these Queens and Roaches are just really far out of position. Also, Zealots are hitting over here at the 9 o'clock position. And Dimaga is going to be losing another base once more. This is almost perfectly played by ToD, as the Zealots are now looking to clean up the rest of these units. And now going to be engaging over here again. Roaches, Spine Crawlers, beautiful force fields coming in. Mothership Core may get taken out. Colossi now taking a lot of damage. Corruptors now coming in. And what is going to be happening here? The Mothership Core is now taking down that get out of jail free, or free trip to St. Charles Place, whatever you want to call it. Not going to be able to be utilized again. Are we going to go into another Mothership Core? No, we don't see one just quite yet. But the Immortal with a range of 6, just so effective. A Guardian Shield now coming in again. Roaches trying to push their way in. Will be able to take down a couple of Immortals. Immortals essentially have 400 hit points when going up against Roaches. So it does take quite a few rounds of attack for those Roaches to get in and take down those units. And there is the GG. ToD coming out ahead, getting one step closer. Will ToD be able to even up the series at 2 games apiece? Stay tuned for Game 4.